Spider-Man, Far From Home. That was a good movie. Technically, it wasn't as good as some of the other Marvel movies, but it was still a good movie, Marvel or otherwise. It was a good movie. It had great fight scenes. There was a lot of times you could tell that the CG was a little off. You know, you could say, "Oh man, wow, he's standing in front of a green screen." You could tell, and that wasn't great. But the story was solid. The way they got MJ and Peter together was good. They do share a kiss. It is not as good as the Spider-Man Upside Down kiss, I will say that. But speaking about that other Spider-Man, I think they're planning on crossing the universes because somebody from the other universe is in this universe. And I was like, wow. And I'm not talking about Mysterio, I'm talking about somebody else. It was a good movie. What had happened was they are going to take a field trip. And Nick Fury wants to speak to Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is straight up tripping. He don't want to speak to him. He just want to go and just be a kid. So Nick Fury kind of hijacks their field trip. And the places he needs Spider-Man to be, he kind of shifts their field trip one way or another and sends them in different places, which is kind of cool. I gotta tell you, I was honest to God, I was thinking that there was going to be Kraven the Hunter in this movie. I thought he was going to show up. I don't know why. I've longed to see this particular Spider-Man villain. Spider-Man's rogue gallery, you know, his group of villains that he fights, is outdone by no one except Batman. Batman's the only person that competes with Spider-Man's rogue gallery, meaning the villains that he fights, the class of villains, how difficult they are to beat, how many of them there are, and memorable ones. Spider-Man's got a ton of them, but in a particular group, he's got, the Sinister Six. And I thought that they were putting together the Sinister Six because they showed the Raven, they showed the Scorpion, they showed the Prowler, and then, previously they showed Electro and Rhino. But I was like, Dr. Octopus, they pretty much have showed everybody, Mysterio, except Kraven the Hunter. They must be saving him, man, because he's a guy that's essentially a hunter, essentially just a dude who comes across some herbs, very similar to the herbs that the Black Panther uses to augment his physical abilities. So he becomes an incredible hunter. He can take down a lion or an elephant or grizzly bear with his bare hands. But he does have a wide assortment of African weapons that he uses. He prides himself on being able to track and hunt anything. Tries to track and hunt Spider-Man, could not do it, kind of builds an obsession with trying to prove that he could, I'm a big game hunter. I could catch Spider-Man, of course I could. With my dark gas and my spears and what have you, I could get him. And then I'll outfight him because I'm tough. So he's been doing that for years, trying to prove it. And there's one time when he does actually prove it, it was a really good story. I'm hoping that they aim for that because this story did a lot more than I thought it was going to do. There are 2 Easter eggs at the end, man. Stay for both of them. They are incredible. And the 2 Easter eggs at the end of the Spider-Man story kind of gives you an idea of which direction the rest of the MCU is going into. In a previous video that I'm going to post right over here, in a previous video I said that I thought one of these people would be the upcoming big bad for Marvel. And if they're doing what it looks like they're doing, and I was right. But I liked it. It was a good movie. It had great fight scenes. As a child, I read Spider-Man books. Growing up, I read a Spider-Man book yesterday, actually. But Mysterio was always a villain. So I was wondering, how's it? Well, he's a good guy. Maybe he's a good guy because he's coming from another dimension. Or maybe not. So that was a good thing. There's a couple of twists in there. If you're a big comic book fan, you'll probably see a couple of them coming. But there's a couple of pretty good twists. But the end, man, the end justified the entire movie. Even if the movie was bad, which it wasn't, it was a good movie, but even if the movie was bad, those 2 Easter eggs were tremendous. Jake Gyllenhaal did a good job as Mysterio. Beware the Night Monkey. I'll say that. You gotta watch that. It's a funny movie. I'm going to give this movie, so much I want to get into. This almost needs a spoiler and a spoiler-free movie review. But I'm just going to do this one, spoiler-free. I'm going to give this movie a really light 8. Yeah, because of the spoilers. The spoilers were so good. I'm going to give this movie a light 8. 8 light. 8 bags of popcorn, man. But that's what I think. Have you seen the movie? What do you think? Let's talk about it in the comments. What was your favorite spot or point or part of a Spider-Man movie? Any one of them in the franchise. Even that old, what was it, 1980s TV show. Any Spider-Man. Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.